Part 23. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 225. Shut up, Ant. After hearing the past events that he least wanted to recall, and seeing that this guy was not afraid of him, the black monster Satoru became furious. His sharp claws suddenly swung at Hinata Nariku. Three-legged cat means. Hyuga Nariku had disdain on his face, raised a hand, and the magic chakra instantly condensed. The immortal magic yin escaped Thunder Sect. The dense purple electric grid shot out from Hinata Nariku's hand, hit Wu's body, and directly knocked him upside down, piercing through the buildings of Ghost Lantern City. Ah! Damn it! The familiar pain makes Satoru even more furious. This move is the Six Paths immortal technique that the Six Paths sage used to perform back then. Damn, 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 damn. What happened to this guy? That Six Paths sage is already dead. It has been thousands of years, why would anyone in the ninja world still know his moves? Boom. The terrifying thunder and lightning directly ionized the air, and the churning plasma burned Satoru's body, pushing Satoru upwards and completely piercing the Ghost Lantern City. The huge Ghost Lantern City prison began to collapse. Damn it! Wei and the others looked extremely ugly and cursed angrily. They each used their own methods to escape from the collapsed prison. The criminals detained in the entire Ghost Light City prison also began to take the opportunity to try to escape. Did I allow you to run away? An indifferent voice came from high in the sky above the island where Ghost Lantern City is located. Hinata Nariku stood high in the sky with an indifferent expression, and suddenly put his hands together. Wood escapes the tree boundary wall. Rumble. Huge wooden walls rose up around the island, quickly rising to a height of hundreds of meters. Asshole. It's just a wall. If we all rush out together, is it possible that he can catch all of us? That's right, let's run away together. Damn Ghost Lantern City, you actually locked me up for so long. A group of criminals from various countries in the ninja world gathered chakra at the soles of their feet, climbed up the wooden escape wall, and tried to climb over. Act recklessly. Hinata Nariku's voice was cold, and he reached out and made a move towards the island below. The wood escape tree world is born. Inside the tree boundary wall that is hundreds of meters high, a terrifying giant tree rises from the ground, and its lush branches grow wildly, attacking the criminals climbing on the wooden escape wall. Either they are entangled in the branches and captured, or either they were beaten and fell, or they were directly penetrated by sharp wooden escape branches. Almost instantly, all the criminals who climbed on the wall were cleared away. The criminals who were swept down by the branches looked at the branches that were blocking the sky, swallowed their saliva, and did not dare to take any more action. Where did that guy in the sky come from? He actually suppressed many of them with just a raise of his hand. Just stay in there, if you don't want to die, I have no interest in killing you losers. Hyuga Nariku said in an indifferent voice high in the air. Although he destroyed Ghost Lantern City, at least he couldn't let these criminals escape. His surname was not Tang, so he couldn't destroy the prison and release a bunch of prisoners. Suddenly, there was a burst of the sound of breaking wind came from behind. 960 You dare to jump in front of me with your strength. Hyuga Nariku didn't even need to look back to detect Satoru's sneak attack, and the magic chakra gathered. Immortal Falan escapes the light fang. The thunder and lightning, as sharp as lasers, flew towards Satoru. What? Satoru was obviously here for a sneak attack, but he was caught off guard. The invincible lightning directly cut off one of his arms and one leg. This was also the move of the Six Paths sage back then. Wu endured the severe pain in his limbs, and his dark red flesh squirmed. As he stood, the severed limb grew rapidly from the cross-section. Just cutting off the limb, he could grow it back in minutes. But, who is this damn guy? Can the immortal of Six Paths be reincarnated? Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 226. Satoru's two black fleshy wings vibrated, and he flew back to a safe distance. He looked at Hinata Naruko's figure with full vigilance. "Who are you? Why does that bastard move of Sage of Six Paths?" Hyuga Naruko looked at this ugly black monster and said calmly. "What did you call me just now? Don't you mean ants? Why are you scared now?" As he spoke, a large amount of chakra of the 7 attributes of yin-yang, 5 elements and 5 elements was condensed in his hand. A dark sphere slowly took shape. "Seeking Dao Jade?" Satoru's voice was filled with shock and fear. This bastard actually even mastered the Taoist jade of the old guy from the Immortal of Six Paths. He couldn't understand the taste of this ordinary black sphere. After he was defeated by the Immortal of Six Paths, it was controlled by the Kyodao jade, and then sealed in the box of bliss. The pain of being penetrated by the Kyodao jade, the chakra could no longer be mobilized, and the limbs were severed and could not be restored. The pain that I had felt back then surged back instantly. Realization occurred in his heart. Immediately. Wu made a decision immediately, turned around and flew away quickly. Run away quickly. It's not a big deal if you can't defeat him now, it's a victory if you can escape. He is an immortal monster, and even the Six-Path Sage could not destroy it. He just sealed him in the box of bliss. Now he comes out of the box of bliss. Where is the Immortal of Six Paths? He has died of old age long ago. After he escapes, he lurks for 100 years, that damn bastard, he is also dead. Who else in the ninja world can do anything to him? Run away. On the ground below, Liuvi, who struggled to escape from the collapsed underground chamber of Ghost Lantern City, looked at Wu, who flew away, with a look of astonishment on his face. "This is the secret treasure of our grass-hidden village, it's just like this. What kind of monster is so powerful that it can't even be dealt with by a Hokage of Konoha, and yet it actually wants to run away?" The few surviving elders of Kayan village looked at Satoru, who was escaping, and cursed. In order to open this box of bliss, how many people in their village had sacrificed over the decades? As a result, after opening the box of bliss, not only could their wishes not come true, instead a monster was released. Such a monster was not up to par, its strength was not very good, and it was directly beaten away by the Hokage of Konoha. Above the sky, the seeking jade in Hinata Naruko's hand turned into a dazzling golden sword, which instantly extended out and caught up with Satoru, who had already flown thousands of meters. Well. In heartbreaking pain, Wu watched the golden sword tip pierce through his body. "My body completely lost control and I couldn't move. What is this golden sword? Back then, the Sage of Six Paths didn't have such ninjutsu. Did I allow you to escape?" Hyuga Naruko controlled the golden sword to shrink, and with Satoru, who was penetrated, he fell back. "You, guy." Satoru couldn't move his body, and even speaking became extremely difficult. The black and ferocious face was still staring at Hinata Naruko with resentment. "Laugh." Hinata Naruko sneered disdainfully. "With your little strength, you still want to destroy the world? It's just an ordinary monster, with at most some ability to tease children." Even in the original time and space, Satoru, Li Zhao, could only be arrogant by relying on his ability to sense the fear in people's hearts. After Naruto overcame his fear, Satoru could no longer dodge Naruto's attacks. "Got it? Asshole." Wu Chi cursed loudly. "I thought that after escaping from the box of bliss, the Six Paths Immortal is no longer here, and the ninja world should not let him be free? Ye. When the time comes, he can easily destroy the ninja world created by the Six Paths Immortal." However, as soon as he came out, he encountered a monster. It was simply the reincarnation of the Six Paths Sage. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 227. Bastard, at worst, you will be sealed for another 1,000 years. I can survive you anyway. I will destroy this ninja world created by the Sage of Six Paths. Seeing that he couldn't resist or escape, Wu simply gave up struggling and started to say harsh words. Ridiculous. Hyuga Nariku smiled mockingly, stretched out his hand, yin-yang chakra gathered on his palm, and a dark green gourd was created out of thin air. What the immortal of six paths cannot do, I may not be able to do it. With that said, Hyuga Nariku used the four elephants seal, sealing Satoru into the newly created gourd. Satoru was spouting trash talk crazily, but he was still unable to resist the power of the seal, and was pulled by 687 and sealed into the small in the gourd. It's just a monster. Even if it has the characteristics of immortality, is it possible that it can be as immortal as Kagaya's blood snare? As long as it reaches a higher level of power, there will naturally be means to break down this monster. At that time, all monsters and tailed beasts will be just little snacks that increase his chakra. Below. From the direction of Kumogakure village, a large number of Kumogakure ninjas are coming. Some Kumogakure ninjas notice the ghost lamp. The city collapsed, so they immediately called for the ninjas from the same village to come to investigate and support. However, Wei Cheng saw such a scene. Black ferocious monster was sealed by a ruthless man flying high in the sky. That's the fifth Hokage of Konoha. The ninjas of Kumogakure recognized Hinata Nariku's identity. A group of people were full of doubts. Why did Konoha's Hokage appear here? What is that black monster? What happened? All the ninjas of Kumogakure village. Hyuga Nariku was still flying in the air and did not land, so he declared condescendingly. You have two choices now, one is to merge into Konoha, the other is to resist and then be killed by me. After today, Grass Hidden Village, no, the entire country of Grass will not continue to exist. The Kingdom of Grass will later be merged into the Kingdom of Fire and will be managed by Konoha. The voice was cold and contained almost no emotion. For a small village like Kumogakure, he had no extra patience at all. A mere Kumogakure actually tried to conquer the ninja world by relying on some bliss box? It's simply ridiculous. If you don't obey, just kill them. What a joke. Or die if you don't resist. It's too domineering. Isn't this damn bastard looking down on our grass-hidden village? It is simply a wishful thinking to still think about annexing the country of grass. What about the elders? Go kill this madman. Hyuga Nariku frowned slightly in the sky. With a wave of his hand, a large number of trees rose from the feet of the Kumogakure ninja. The sea of trees instantly drowned all the Kumogakure ninjas. In the distant Kumogakure village, there were also a large number of trees rose from the ground, and the dense branches entangled all the ninjas and villagers of Kayan village and tied them high into the sky. Including Wubai and several elders of Kayan village behind. The elder Kumogakure wearing a bullhood pointed at Hinata Nariku. Just as he was about to say something, a sharp branch penetrated his chest. The wood escapes the cutting technique, and the terrifying branches grow and multiply in its internal organs. This elder Kusanagi lost his life in an instant. Squeeze living people to extract chakra in order to open the box of bliss and fight for supremacy in the ninja world. Just you. Ridiculous. Hyuga Nariku said mockingly, and then repeated the same trick on several other senior Kumogakure officials. Wait, I surrender. Before he could finish his words, Wubai and the remaining elder Caoyin were brutally killed by the wood release cutting technique. For a moment, the other Kumogakure ninjas who were entangled in branches and kidnapped high in the air felt their scalps go numb. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 228. Let me repeat it again, Kyosakuin village and the country of grass will be managed by Konoha from now on. Do any of you have any opinions? After easily killing several high-level officials of Kayan village, Hinatan Naruko said to everyone in Kayan village with a kind expression. I have, poof. As soon as someone shivered and tried to resist, he was instantly pierced by a branch and died. Now, the others no longer dared to resist. Suddenly, Hinatan Naruko's eyes moved slightly and he noticed two people. The red-haired mother and daughter, there is a lot of chakra. Recalling the characters in the original work, Hinatan Naruko remembered that it seemed that Uzumaki Kaso was in Kusakure village before. Her mother was not dead at this time, but she was just a tool for the ninjas of Kusakure village to treat injuries. Being used crazily and exploited miserably. Hyaga Naruko controlled the branches of the wood escape, and the trees squirmed in the earth, carrying the mother and daughter towards him. The older mother, with one head, the red hair looked unusually dull. The whole person's vitality revealed a weakness that was inconsistent with his age. It was obvious that he had been squeezed too much by the Kusagakure ninjas, consumed too much chakra, and lost his vitality. The mother and daughter were shaking. He looked at Hinatan Naruko with fear. Hinatan Naruko casually penetrated the yang escape chakra into the body of his mother and said. There is also a descendant of the Uzumaki group in Konoha who is the same age as your daughter. You can live a better life in Konoha. Siang Phosphorus mother felt a chakra full of vitality pouring into her body. Her whole body's weakness disappeared instantly, the excessive loss of vitality was also replenished, and her hair returned to the bright red color it had a few years ago. On the spot, Siang Phosphorus mother couldn't control her tears. She wanted to express her gratitude with Siang Phosphorus, but her body was restrained by the branches of Mudun and she couldn't move. It's just a piece of cake. It was the old guy Sarutobi Hiruzen who led Konoha back then. Konoha was sorry for its ally, the country of Whirlpool. Hyaga Naruko waved his hand and said. After comforting the mother and daughter, Hinatan Naruko's face turned cold again, and said to the remaining people in Kusanagi village. The Uzumaki clan is an ally of Konoha, but your Kusagakure village is not. In the past several great ninja wars, you have always been the backbone of Konoha and Iwagakure. You will no longer be treated like this in the future. Now, answer directly, if you are not willing to surrender, I will send you to death immediately. The country of grass was originally a strategic buffer zone between the country of fire and the country of earth. For this reason, Kusanagi village was established in the gap between the two major ninja villages. Village. The ninja world will be unified in the future. Naturally, there will no longer be a living space for small villages like Kusagakure. Us. Looking at the sharp branches that were about to move around, everyone in Kayan village still didn't want to die, and they all said. We surrender. We are willing to join Konoha. Situation is stronger than people. This guy could kill them all by himself, and they couldn't help but agree. If not, you can't really die? Yes, it seems that most people are very sensible. I thought you wanted to accompany the daimyo of the land of grass. Hyaga Naruko said with a smile. While he came to deal with the Kusugakure village, the Konoha ninjas were responsible for killing the daimyo of the country of grass. There is no need for the country of grass and the Kusugakure village to exist. As for the bullshit daimyo, a group of people have no grasp of it. It's ridiculous that a helpless ordinary person can hold the ninja village's head for so many years. The unification of the ninja world has begun, and there is no need for any daimyo in the future. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 229. In the Kingdom of Rain, in the Akatsuki organization base. Zetsu gave Nagato the two brothers, the former eight-tailed Jinchuriki Bururaibi and the Dirty Earth Gold Horn and Silver Horn, who were summoned through the reincarnation of the Dirty Earth. When Nagato went to seal the 8 tails and 9 tails chakra, Zetsu began to summon the next person. The art of reincarnation from dirty soil. The cold death energy invaded, papers flew, and an extremely powerful spirit crossed the boundary between life and death and returned to the world. The Baiju clone as a sacrifice gradually transformed into a long hedgehog-like creature. Hair, a man wearing red armor. Uchiha Madara. Madara-sama, we are finally waiting for you. Heizetsu's voice actually contained a little excitement. Ever since that guy Hyuga Nariku overran the ninja world, Heizetsu has been under tremendous psychological pressure. Why did such a strong man suddenly appear in the ninja world? He even surpassed Chien, who was at his peak that year. Dao Hashirama. No, even if Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara join forces at their peak, they are probably no match for Hyuga Nariku. With Nagato's strength, there is no way he can be Hyuga Nariku's opponent. Now, see you again. After arriving at Uchiha Madara, Black Zetsu felt more confident. With Uchiha Madara around, even Uchiha Madara in his filthy state can greatly enhance their strength. Black Zetsu. Uchiha Madara's thinking seems a bit stagnant, as if he is not used to this body. The touch is very stiff, not like a living person's body at all. This is the reincarnation of the dirty land. Uchiha Madara's face darkened. He also knew about the ninjutsu developed by the evil brat of the Senju clan in Senju Tobirama. Especially the ninjutsu that distorted the boundary between life and death. He even wanted to do so at first. He used this to resurrect his younger brother Uchiha Izuna, but he gave up in the end. After all, the reincarnation of the earth is just a ninjutsu that summons the souls of the dead to return and possess the sacrifices to fight. It is not a real resurrection at all. Let's go to the Eye of the Moon project. Seeing Uchiha Madara's unkind expression, Black Zetsu quickly explained. Madara-sama, there have been many changes in the plan. Next, Heize picked up the key points and explained the current situation. There is a freak in the ninja world, a member of the Hyuga clan, a strong thief. Akatsuki organization collecting the tailed beasts was very unsuccessful. Basically, I had to steal corpses to collect the little chakra that remained on the dirty land ninja. But fortunately, the chakra of the 9-tailed beasts has been collected, but the amount is a bit small. I don't know if it can. The 10 tails cannot be revived. Only caught 4 complete tailed beasts. Uchiha Madara's face became extremely ugly. What did you do? The other tailed beasts actually use the bits of filthy land reincarnated ninja to participate in chakra. With just that little chakra, is it certain that the 10 tails can be revived? Where is that boy Obito? What a job he did. Uchiha Madara now feels that he misjudged the wrong person. It's just a tailed beast, just a beast with a little more chakra. In front of the Mangekyo Sharingan of the Uchiha clan, he is simply a toy that can be controlled by others. That kid Obito has the Mangekyo Sharingan, and he also transplanted Hashirama cells into Obito to make up for the shortcomings of the Mangekyo Sharingan, and he can actually do it so well. It can't be entirely said that it was Obito's fault. Baiju helped Obito explain a few words. It's just that Hyuga Nariku in 1.1 is too strong. Hakuzetsu told Hinatan Nariku's 2 battles against Kumogakure and Kirigakure. 1000-armed Buddha. Uchiha Madara's eyes flashed. Moreover, you said that Hashirama was exposed and said that the Hokage of the Hyuga clan was stronger than his peak. If Hashirama said so, the strength of the back of the Hyuga clan is indeed worthy of attention. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 230. According to the information Baizi's obtained from spying on Konoha, Hyuga Nariku's Byakugan seems to have evolved. According to him, the evolved form is called the Tensagen. Heizetsu said in a hoarse voice. However, Heizetsu did not know that the reincarnation eye was the eye that Otsutsuki Hamura once awakened. After the two brothers of the Six-Path Sage sealed Kaguya, Hamura went directly to the moon to suppress the outside demons. At that time, Hamura's eyes were just white eyes. Later, when Hamura was on the moon, he awakened the reincarnation eye. In this regard, the descendants of Hamura on the moon have never been to the moon and have never been exposed to black eyes. Zetsu naturally doesn't know. If Black Zetsu knew that this was Otsutsuki Hamura's 14th eye that he had awakened, his attitude would definitely be more cautious. The Tensagen, does the Byakugan also have an evolved form? An excited smile appeared on Uchiha Madara's face. Estimating based on Obito's record, the strength of the Tsenjigen should be far greater than half of the Mangekyo. No, it should also be above the eternal Mangekyo. I just don't know how it compares to my reincarnation eye. This resurrection is not boring anymore. Although Hashirama is no longer there, it is not bad to have a junior who is recognized by Hashirama as being above his peak period during his lifetime. If he defeated that Hyuga Naraku, wouldn't it mean that has he surpassed Hashirama's peak period during his lifetime? Madara Uchiha, who was suppressed by Senju Hashirama with wood release all his life, feels that he can finally breathe out this time. Looking back on his life, he is still an ordinary Sharingan at that time. Hashirama awakened wood release. After his father died, he opened the Mangekyo Sharingan, mastered Susanoo, and Hashirama developed the wood release tree Kaiju. After his death, his younger brother Izuna transplanted his eyes. After opening the Eternal Kaleidoscope and mastering the complete Susanoo, Hashirama mastered the Wood Dragon Jutsu and the Bokujin Jutsu. Later, the main difference between him and Hashirama was chakra. Hashirama's massive amount of chakra is so bullying. So Madara Uchiha went to capture the Nine Tails, and developed the powerful weapon of putting the complete Susanoo on the Nine Tails, and thought that he could finally surpass the tailed beast. Hashirama, they all shouted the slogan, "I can reach the other side." The result, the evil magic. Damn it, there are thousands of hands. Uchiha Madara still remembers that Kuwabai is like a little chicken, the appearance of being caught in the hand of Hashirama's thousand-armed Buddha. Later, Hashirama died. By the time he awakened the Samsara Eye, he was basically about to die of old age. Moreover, even if he was still young, he could still. Who are you going to fight? The only person in the ninja world who can fight him is no longer there. I hope that Hyuga Naraku won't disappoint me. Uchiha Madara crossed his arms and said confidently. No matter what, when it comes to the reincarnation eye versus the reincarnation eye, I have the advantage. Although that reincarnation eye is very powerful, it is absolutely impossible to be the opponent of your reincarnation eye, Madara-sama. Heiju also has confidence in this. Although he hates Higoromo's rebellious son who sealed his mother. But Black Zetsu at least admitted that the two brothers of Hagoromo and Hamura were extremely powerful. What's more, the reason why those two rebellious sons were able to seal their mother relied on the reincarnation eye of the immortal of six paths. It can be said that Black Zetsu is more confident than Uchiha Madara in the strength of the Rinnegan. What should we do now? Control Nagato and resurrect Madara-sama? Bye. Ju asked. Obito set a curse seal in the body of the five-tailed Jinchuriki. Now the five-tailed Jinchuriki has been made by Nagato into the six paths of pain. At that time, he can use this to sneak attack Nagato and control Nagato to launch the reincarnation technique. Black Zetsu suggested. Let Uchiha Madara be resurrected as soon as possible, and then regain the Samsara Eye, and return to the peak of strength. In this case, even if 660 Hyuga Naraku comes to knock on the door immediately, they will not be afraid anymore. Uchiha Madara thought for a moment and said. No, there is no need to worry about Nagato. The strength of the Rinnegan is not something Nagato can bring out. Although I am only in the filthy earth body now, it doesn't take much effort to deal with Nagato. It's better to control the heretic demon first. If Nagato is allowed to master the Ten Tails first, some unnecessary variables may be added. After hearing this, hey. Ju felt that what he said made sense, nodded and said. Now Nagato should have sealed all the tailed beast chakra and go to stop the Iwagakure ninja outside. We can just take advantage of this opportunity to control the heretic demon. To deal with those Iwagakure ninjas, Nagato naturally does not need to use the heretic golem. In other words, no one is controlling the heretic golem now, and it is time for them to seize control. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 231. Outside Yuyan Village. In the rainy wilderness. Water release, big explosion, water wave. Keikisaki Kisame's chest suddenly swelled, and then turbulent waves spit out from his mouth and flooded a large number of Iwagakure ninjas. The rainy weather in the land of rain is perfect for Kisame to use water escape ninjutsu. This place's the environment is just like the water country in my hometown. Damn it, does this guy have infinite chakra? The third generation Tsuchikage Onaki's son, Huangtu, brought a large number of Iwagakure ninjas to use earth escape defense, and couldn't help cursing. This shark-faced Kirigakure ninja has used the big water blast several times. You know, this ninjutsu consumes a huge amount of chakra. It is used so unscrupulously, and the chakra has not been exhausted yet. Is this guy a tailed beast? Uncle Lois, can you do it? Little yellow-haired Deidara was riding a clay bird, flying in the sky, not missing the turbulent waves below. Deidara, stop talking sarcastically and go kill those two bastards. Huangtu is almost going crazy. What kind of disciple did my father accept? He usually explodes everywhere in the village, and he also explodes when he is on a mission. If he is not careful, he will even kill the mission client. Iwagakure has received several complaints from clients because of this. We finally got a mission. Can Deidara do something serious? I thought too, that green-eyed masked man seems to be indestructible. Deidara scratched his head, feeling very puzzling. According to his calculations, in the previous battle in Iwagakure village, the bombs he threw should have caused at least 4 well-known attacks on Kakuzu. However, Kakuzu now actually he's still alive and well. He's so evil. Then blow it up a few more times, and you can finally kill him. Huangtu cursed while leading his men to fight Kisame. I will try my best. Deidara muttered in a low voice. The explosive clay he brought out was almost used up. Somehow, he felt that Kakuzu was much more resistant to explosions this time. Kakuzu, is it okay? You just need to help me stop that explosive kid and don't let him get close to me. Kisame asked from an angle that was obviously in a bad state. As long as the explosive kid flying in the sky is not allowed to get close, he can hold off the remaining Iwagakure ninjas by himself using a wide range of ninjutsu. No problem. Gyoudu said with a loud voice, not to mention feeling aggrieved. With the help of Obito's divine power, he had completed 5 hearts before. The 5 hearts are all earth escape, and the horns are simply used for defense. There was no way, he didn't have any anti-air attack ninjutsu that he could use now, and he couldn't do anything to Deidara who was flying around in the sky. It is already very difficult to rely on earth escape defense to save one's life. However, even so, he has now consumed 2 more earth escape hearts. That damn yellow-haired brat, can't he run out of bombs? The other side. The third generation Tsuchikage Onaki, with a small number of elite Iwagakure ninjas, was besieging Obito Uchiha. However, the reality is the other way around. The actual situation is that Obito is using the power of Kamui to attack the Iwagakure ninjas mysteriously, Wangzhao's, again and again. Almost every time he took a shot, a Iwagakure Jounin's life was taken away. Obito really doesn't dare to open Susanoo in front of Onoki now. If Onoki were to use the Dust Escape original realm peeling technique again, and he was caught off guard and beaten to the ground without even leaving any scum, there would be no room for excuses and escape. But it doesn't matter if I don't use Susanoo. Using the pupil technique in his right eye, he is still invincible. Only he can attack IWA ninja, but the opponent cannot attack him. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 232. Onoki's eyes were red at the moment. In a short period of time, more than 20 jonin of Iwagakure had died. The last time such a large number of casualties among Iwagakure jounin was caused by that bastard Minato Namikaze during the Third Ninja War. Now, the disciples of Namikaze Minato actually caused such huge casualties to the Iwagakure elite. And they all used time and space ninjutsu. The same thing happened with Minato Namikaze back then. The other party could kill their people, but they couldn't even touch a hair of Minato Namikaze. Even though his Ono wooden dungeon is unparalleled in the world, he can only watch the other party killing his own people. Uchiha Obito, you bastard, do you dare to fight head-on? Onoki was almost going crazy with anger and said indiscriminately. Ah! Obito chuckled and waved the kunao in his hand, causing blood to fall. What a ridiculous and pitiful wail. Since there is no way to crack my time and space ninjutsu, why did 350 come and lead his men to death? Onoki's eyes were bloodshot, and he also realized the childishness of his words, and ordered to the few remaining elite jounin. You all, stay away. The remaining Iwagakure jounin looked at each other, without hesitation, and retreated together. Onoki gathered chakra in his hands, and the white dust light flashed. The art of dust escape and boundary peeling. Buzz. The white cube completely swallowed up the position where Uchiha Obito was in front. Onoki only saw that damn Uchiha brat who seemed to smile, with contempt and ridicule, and then he was swallowed by the dust escape. Did you kill him? Iwagakure jounin couldn't help but ask. That damn bastard led people to make a big fuss in Iwagakure and took away their Jinchuriki. And now he has killed so many of their companions. The only choice is to kill them, only then could he vent his anger. However, the light from the dust dissipated. Obito's figure was still in place, undamaged. Your dust escape speed is too slow. Even a child can easily dodge this attack speed. Obito mocked disdainfully. Asshole. Onoki gritted his teeth angrily. Dust release is a blood-stained elimination, and it requires a large amount of chakra to be activated, so it takes a long time to accumulate power. However, who can bear to be ridiculed like this? At this moment, in the distance, Yogakure in the direction of the village, two figures ran towards this side. Both were wearing Iwagakure forehead protectors. It's Mr. Lao Zi and Mr. Han. The Iwagakure ninja said in surprise when he saw the face of the visitor. Although he didn't know what happened, it should be that the two Jinchuriki successfully escaped from Akatsuki's base, right? Bigf, Onoki frowned, looking at the several black rods that penetrated Lao Zi and Han's bodies. He felt something was wrong. The five-tailed Jinchuriki came over and slapped the seal in his hand on the ground. Psychic art. Roar. Fierce three-headed dogs, huge rhinos, giant birds, and centipedes. A large number of giant psychic beasts were summoned, and their eyes were all shaped like samsara eyes. After these psychic beasts appeared, they quickly rushed to support Kisame and Kakuzu were over there. Immediately afterwards, Han, who had been made into the animal path, formed seals again and used the psychic technique. Bang! 5 figures rushed out from the white smoke. It was Konan and the rest 4 pens. The Third Hokage Onoki, this is our first meeting, so please accept this meeting gift. Tiendao Pain's voice was as cold as a god, and his whole body floated up under the repulsion. Seeing this, Konan, Obito, and other Pain retreated one after another. Kisame and Kakuzu on the other side of the battlefield all saw this posture, also stayed away from here one after another. What is he going to do? Onaki, Huangtu, and the other Iwagakure ninjas were confused. What kind of ninjutsu was being released? The other party's people actually stepped back. Don't worry about it, just back off. Onoki's face was solemn, staring at Tendo Pain, who had already coincided with the sun in the sky, and a bad premonition came to his heart. However, it was already too late. Feel the pain. He who does not know pain cannot know true peace. Tiandeo Pain's body gathered a large amount of chakra, and the purple samsara eye emitted a frightening light. Shinra Tianzhang. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 233. The terrifying repulsion broke out. Along with a burst of white light, a fierce invisible repulsive force descended from the sky, lifting the earth and flying all the Iwagakure ninjas. The earth is torn apart. The surging repulsive force caused everyone who was attacked to be knocked down and pushed back. What power is this? Onaki tried his best to use earth release to defend himself, but to no avail. He was buried alive by the earth wall created by his earth release ninjutsu. After the repulsion, the dust has settled. The small battlefield outside Yuyan village has been turned into a small basin by the repulsive force of Shinra Tianzhang. The rocks and soil on the ground shook, and the few surviving rock ninjas struggled to crawl out of the soil and looked at their surroundings in confusion. This terrifyingly powerful ninjutsu. Is this still the ninja world they are familiar with? Ahem. Onoki climbed out of the soil, coughed twice, and looked around. This kind of power, what's wrong with this ninja world? When I fought Kumogakure before, I had a huge advantage, but I already blocked Kumogakure in his hometown. As a result, for some unknown reason, Kumogakure, who had sealed off the village's defenses, suddenly opened the protective barrier, and with just one shot, he wiped out most of the Iwagakure ninjas who went on the expedition. And now this time too. The opponent's attack method was so terrifying, but he had never seen it before and couldn't understand it. Onaki even wondered if he could not keep up with the times. No, it's impossible. Onoki's face turned grim, he reached out and grabbed a piece of gravel, crushed it directly in his hands, and said unyieldingly, I am not old enough to be abandoned by the times. Immediately, Onaki took a deep breath, and used the earth escape super light and heavy rock technique, and the whole person floated into the air. Although he was dirty and looked very messy, the whole person's momentum was stronger than before. A large amount of chakra was mobilized. Onaki raised his hands in front of him. The technique of dust escape and original realm peeling. Buzz. The terrifying white beam suddenly hit Tiandeo Pain, who was still on the ground. Too slow. Tiandeo Pain looked indifferent and had no intention of dodge. Behind him, the first four Jinchuriki Lao Zi, who had been transformed into the hungry ghost path, suddenly rushed forward and protected Tiandeo Pain in front of him, with both hands in front of him, opening up a protective barrier. Seal technique and seal. Chen Dun's white beam hit the hemispherical protective cover. The originally indestructible Chen Dun failed this time. That thin barrier actually easily relied on Onaki's dust dungeon. Impossible. Onoki's eyes were about to burst, and he continued to mobilize chakra to maintain the dust escape. Although he didn't know what method the opponent used to block the dust escape, but as long as he persisted for a while, the opponent's defense might not be able to hold on. However, time passed by minute by minute. With the high consumption of dust release, Onaki maintained the high-intensity chakra output for a full minute. However, the opponent's protective shield was indestructible, with no sign of breaking at all. How can this be? Onaki, who could no longer maintain his output, almost collapsed. His strongest method was actually blocked by the opponent without any hesitation. Tsuchikage-sama, Purple Senpai's chakra has increased. Below, there was an Iwagakure ninja who was good at perception and was observing the hungry ghost Deo Laozi. He suddenly discovered something and shouted to Onaki in the sky. He had obviously cast a defensive ninjutsu, but his chakra did not decrease but increased. My dust release, chakra was absorbed by him. Onoki muttered to himself absent-mindedly. Looking at the same purple circle pattern in the eyes of Tiendeo Pain and hungry ghost Deo Laozi, Onoki suddenly thought of something. The eyes with this pattern, could they be the legendary reincarnation eyes? The legendary Six Paths Immortal Eyes. Sandaime Tsuchikage, the era of Ninja Village is coming to an end. Tiendeo Pain said with an indifferent expression. Next, is the era when the Akatsuki organization leads the ninja world. Onoki's face was extremely ugly. He was about to retort, but suddenly his heart palpitated. It seemed that something terrible had appeared. Looking up, not far away, Yuyan village was being shaken by a huge earthquake. Tiendeo Pain's expression also changed drastically. This power is the Ten Tails. The Ten Tails suddenly revived. What happened in the Kumogakure village? Damn. Kumogakure forced me, and the Third Hokage persuaded me to die. Author, Uchiha Hokage. Chapter 234. Boom. 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 Continuous huge earthquakes overturned a large number of buildings in Yuyan village. A large number of ordinary villagers in Yuyan village were caught off guard and were directly killed by collapsed buildings. Damn, what happened? Why was there a sudden earthquake? Where are Lord Pain and Lord Angel? Come and save us. It was a huge earthquake from the central tower. What happened? Wait, what is that 5:30? A group of ninjas and villagers from Yuyan village looked blankly at the tall tower located in the center of Yuyan village. The tower that was originally standing suddenly cracked and began to collapse. A huge brown-gray tail emerged from the ground. 1, 2, 3, a total of 10 huge tails emerged at once. Buzz. It seems that some terrifying monster has awakened. Boom. The central tower collapsed completely, and the terrifying monster fully emerged. The 10 tails, which is brown in color, hundreds of meters tall and has only one eye, finally appears in front of the world. Roar. The earth-shaking roar erupted. The ordinary villagers of Yuyan who were closer to the central tower were directly shaken by the roar, bleeding from all their orifices, and almost died. Ha 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 ha. A burst of hearty laughter came from the head of the Ten Tails. On the top of the Ten Tails' head, a white tube as thick as an arm extended out and connected to Uchiha Madara's body. The Ten Tails had been successfully revived by him and got it under control. As expected of Madara-sama, he controlled the Ten Tails so easily. Heiju and Baiju flattered from the side. Snort. Uchiha Madara crossed his arms and said leisurely, "The Ten Tails is indeed much stronger than the Nine Tails, even though the tailed beast's chakra is still so much worse. However, he is just a beast after all." In front of him with the Rinnegan eye open, the Ten Tails could only be easily controlled. In the distant sky, Ten Tails Pain came flying over quickly. When he saw the Ten Tails resurrecting directly in the Kumogakure village, his face was extremely ugly. There were a lot of people in the village. The building collapsed, and the Ten Tails wreaked havoc wantonly. In a short period of time, countless people died in Kumogakure village. Damn it! Tendo Pain flew to high altitude and saw Uchiha Madara and Black and White Zetsu standing on top of the Ten Tails. "Ju, what are you doing? Who is this guy?" "Bye." Jing Jing paid no attention to Pain's rage and said with a smile. "I'm sorry, Nagato, Kuro and I were originally obeying Madara-sama's orders." "Oh, by the way, it's the real Madara-sama, not Obito's fake one." Tiendeo Pain's expression changed drastically again, looking at the man in red armor and full of Warring States era costumes. Are you, Madara Uchiha? Uchiha Madara is resurrected? Is that Zetsu guy a subordinate of Uchiha Madara? I have always felt that Uchiha Obito is hiding something from him, and it is true. Uchiha Obito and Black and White Zetsu, behind these guys are actually Uchiha Madara, the ninja Shuri who echoed with the first Hokage. Pain? You actually want to disperse the power of the reincarnation I gave you into 6 puppets. Nagato, you disappoint me a little. Uchiha Madara's eyes scanned the Kumogakure village, and he soon discovered a person hiding underground somewhere. With a huge amount of chakra, Nagato is obviously of Uzumaki bloodline. The reincarnation you gave me. When Nagato heard this and saw the same Rinnegan pattern in Uchiha Madara's pupils, his mind almost went blank. That's right, your reincarnation 2.7 eyes were actually transplanted to you by Madara-sama's own eyes. By Ju said with a smile. Do you really think that you are the reincarnation of the 6 paths immortal, and you are actually born with the eye of reincarnation? As early as you have no memory, Master Madara has already transplanted the samsara eye to you. Boom. Nagato turned pale in an instant. In just a few words, his worldview of the past few decades almost completely collapsed.